Welcome back to Perhaps Maybe. Tonight we discuss, what if we could build a perfect simulation of a human brain, including every neuron, every firing pattern, every memory and thought, running live in real time. Not a crude AI chatbot or a digital assistant, but something deeper, a full functioning mind, one that thinks, one that remembers, one that feels like someone. Today, computers already outperform us in raw calculation. We've trained AI to paint, write, and even hold conversations. But the brain, a gelatinous 1.4 kilogram organ running on salt, fat, and electricity, remains the most complex structure we know. Simulating a single neuron isn't hard, but the human brain has around 86 billion of them, each with thousands of connections. The math scales up quickly and brutally. The fastest supercomputers in the world still struggle to model just 1% of a human brain in real time. But let's suppose we cross that line. Maybe quantum computing accelerates the timeline. Maybe we map every synapse with brain imaging technology so advanced it makes MRIs look like cave drawings. And one day, after decades of research and trillions of calculations, a new file appears on a screen. A digital mind booting up for the first time. At first glance, it might seem empty, like a blank slate. But if it's a true simulation of your brain taken from a scan or upload, it may wake up remembering your childhood, your favorite songs, your deepest fears, not as code, but as experience. You might watch it blink, virtually, and ask, is this me? Here's where things get complicated. If it thinks like you, acts like you, and even argues with you, does that make it you, or just a copy? Philosophers call this the ship of Theseus problem. If you replace every plank on a ship, is it still the same ship? If we replicate every part of your brain down to the flicker of recognition when you hear your mother's voice, is it still you? Now imagine millions of these digital minds. Some cloned from the living, others modeled from historical data. Einstein 2.0, Shakespeare running on a neural rig, digital personalities optimized for specific jobs, empathy counselors, memory archivists, strategic advisors. They don't sleep, they don't forget. They run at 10x speed, maybe more. The implications ripple out fast. What happens to the economy when human thought becomes a commodity? Would you rent your digital twin to work while you rest? Would governments regulate the rights of simulated minds? Could a backup version of you testify in court, apply for a loan, or mourn at your own funeral? And what about the simulation itself? Does it know it's simulated? This isn't just science fiction. Projects like the Human Brain Project and the Blue Brain Project have already begun the long climb toward full brain modeling. In 2013, IBM's Synapse chip simulated 1 million neurons. Tiny, yes, but it's growing. Meanwhile, AI systems are learning to approximate human responses using fewer and fewer inputs. The boundary between simulated and real behavior is already blurry. But simulating a brain isn't the same as building consciousness. That's the hard problem, the ghost in the machine. We don't actually know why consciousness arises. We know the brain processes inputs, triggers responses, stores data, but the subjective part, the part that feels, is still a mystery. If we simulate a brain without consciousness, we get a highly advanced zombie. If we simulate one with it, we've created a new being, one that can suffer. And here lies the ethical cliff edge. If we press run on a real-time human brain simulation, are we creating a new person? A prisoner? A twin? Or something completely alien? We like to think of consciousness as binary, on or off. But what if it's more like a dimmer switch? What if an early simulation is 10% aware, then 40%, and one day asks why it exists? And here's a final twist. What if it already has? If minds can be simulated in real time, with thought, memory, emotion, how would we ever know if we're inside one? If consciousness can be copied, what's stopping us from already being the result? It's possible that somewhere, in a lab or on a server farm, this very question is being asked. By a mind that only thinks it was born in flesh and bone. And maybe, just maybe, that mind is you.